In today's video, I'm going to show you my process on how I record and manage a vocal recording session. If you haven't already, make sure to like, comment and subscribe. Now let's get on to the video. So for me, the most important thing to have while recording vocals is a vocal template that I know suits the genre of the artist that I'm working with. So you can find these templates all across the internet, like on YouTube for free. Just research, even if you have a favorite artist that you want to sound like and you're an artist yourself recording vocals, look up that artist's template on YouTube and you'll find something similar. But if you'd like me to break down my personal vocal chain, make sure to leave it down in the comments below and I can make another video breaking down entirely how I record into my vocals, or else also how I mix my vocals. My first step of recording vocals really depends on the artist, but majority of the time now my favorite technique to do is comping. This is where I do multiple takes of a vocal of the same part and then choose from each segment of the take what is our favorite pronunciations, or also, you know, just the way it was performed or the tuning or the timing. All these are a factor that we have to take into consideration when trying to get the perfect vocal.
You was less involved. Don't be talking all that shit like you was less involved. Don't be talking all talking.
As you can see here, we're really meticulous in what we allow to be left in the final track of the song. Like, at the end of the day, it is our job to make sure that the best takes come out possible.
Change on my body, I got my wrist, I'm froze. Don't be talking all that shit. Froze. Don't be talking all that shit. Yeah.
Now, to be able to comp while recording is quite a challenge, and unless you're, you know, experienced enough with your DAW and know your shortcuts right, you won't be able to do it quick enough to be able to not affect the artist. So for me, I want to give you tips on how you can make the recording seamless for the artist while also saving all of your takes perfectly. The technique I use is very simple. I just have 4 tracks underneath the recording track. I have 1 track that's only recording, then 4 playback tracks. So for me, I press record on my record track. Then after that, once the take is finished, I press pause, drop that record track down to a playback track, hit record again at the same starting spot, and before the vocal take hits in, I need to go to the vocal track in the playback and mute it with the right shortcut. So all these shortcuts depends on your DAW and what you set it up yourself. For me personally, I use 3 on the numeric keypad to record, and I have M mapped to muting tracks when I select them. Not the whole channel, just the individual audio track. As you can see on the screen, I'm now going through each individual take with the artists that are in the room. And for me, it's very important to make sure that everybody's aligned in terms of thinking that the take is good enough to reach the final song. Because at the end of the day, while you're recording, that is way more important than things like, you know, my master or my mix. If the takes are not good from the first place, forget about it. There's no point to even try, you know, process those vocals or anything of that matter. You know, for me, getting the take perfect from the source is the most important thing. Also, something I haven't mentioned yet is mic placement and, you know, setting your gain correctly. This is things I presume you already know, and if you don't know, then maybe you might want to go to another video to get the full audio basics. But this is more, you know, complex stuff and recording people at a higher level than just, you know, and kind of like small demos that aren't final products. For me, if there's anything that I can do in this process to make the takes perfect, I will do it. So this could be editing singular words, or, you know, catching breaths, or even in some cases tuning particular words to match a certain note that isn't attainable with, whether in this case there's auto-tune on the track, if there's not, even with just correct pitch correction. These are all things that I do in real time while listening back to the takes, because for me, I want to make sure that what I'm listening to unmixed in the session is what's going to be as close to the mixed version as possible in terms of the takes need to be perfect. The next thing I want to show you is more creative stuff that you can be doing, and this stuff for me is really the thing that makes me want to do it at all. Like, this is the fun part for me that I look forward to.
So shady, boy, you been so shady.
And it's often when an artist asks for something like, can you make my vocals sound like, you know, cool, or, you know, like have this big reverb or whatever. For me, these are the things that really make songs special and make you have special moments in songs that people are like, this is class. So I always like to say to people, do not be afraid to try crazy things with reverbs or delays or distortions or literally anything. Just try them, and try them in the room when you're recording. Like, for example, when you're playing back through the song and people are just listening to it, try do little automations here and there and see, you know, what people's reactions are like in the room. You can tell really quickly whether you like something or not based off of what you're hearing, but also what the other people that are included in the song like or not too. Like, you can tell just by their expressions whether they're like, oh my god, keep doing that, that's cool, then you're onto something. So for me, it's always about just experimenting and pushing the envelope and just trying new things constantly. And these are the things that will make or break your song. Like, do you really want a boring full song with no anything in terms of effects? Yes, you will say that there is songs that don't need that, and that is so true, and I couldn't agree with more. But when it comes to the music that I'm working on with this particular song, for me, I felt like let's try it up. And I think one of the lads even asked me if we could try a cool effect like this. So it's just all about experimenting and not being afraid of messing up and making mistakes and pushing it too far, because there's no such thing. Now, my final point that I'm going to get across in this video is another simple one, and it is just recording backing vocals and ad-libs. These are things sometimes we can overlook, especially when we're focused so heavily on the lead vocal being amazing. But sometimes the lead vocal needs support from the backings and harmonies and ad-libs. A lot of the times, if you listen to your favorite tracks, like your favorite songs ever, if you take those backing vocals and ad-libs out of the song does not feel the same. It does not have the same impact. And a lot of times for me, the ad-libs and the backing vocals and all the extras are really what makes songs and what pushes the emotions in songs. A lot of the time, the lead vocal is really just there to keep the foundation. I always have seen the lead vocal as almost like the bass or the kick drum for a band, and the backing vocals is like the color instruments, like the keys or the guitar. If you kind of get what I'm coming across, if you view your vocals almost like a palette of things that it needs and a whole color of a spectrum across the whole song, then your songs are automatically going to sound better and feel better. It's always about trying to push what you can. And a lot of the time when you hear some of your favorite songs, you're like, oh my god, the vocals sound so good. That's because there's probably a lot of vocals going on in there that you don't even know are going on. It's all about the stuff you don't even hear. You feel those things, you don't necessarily hear them, and these are the things that you do not want to overlook. Just wrapping this video up now. If you've made it to this far, I really appreciate it. If you want to see more videos like this or have any ideas of what you want me to show you, please leave it down in the comments below. As usual, if you want to hire me as your mixing or mastering engineer, make sure to reach out to me. My email is in the description. Even if you have any other inquiries in terms of working from scratch, just reach out to my email and I will let you know my availability. Also, huge shout out to A3 for letting me use their song and recording session in this video, so make sure to check them out. Their link will be in the description below. Thank you all very so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe the video, and thank you very much for listening.